You're not saying you think Republicans are gonna stop it?
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second you want... I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
Gavin Newsom 2028 presidential campaign. He's grandstanding and making a clown of himself because he wants national attention. He tried the moderate thing for a month and realized it wasn't raising him any funds. So
Imagine this, Gavin Newsom, California's self-proclaimed golden boy with hair shinier than a diamond commercial, just got ambushed by Lindi Li, and it was pure chaos. Picture a political red carpet turning into a public meltdown, with truth bombs flying faster than his poll numbers crashing. This wasn't just a fiery clapback. It was a total demolition that left his team gasping for damage control. The whole scene felt like a movie premiere gone wrong. His picture-perfect image cracking under the spotlight. And let's be real, even his legendary hair couldn't smooth over this mess. Lindi didn't just call him out, she bulldozed right through his glossy reputation and left him scrambling to hit delete before the flames spread. What a spectacle.
a Trump crusader, because he realizes that it helps him with his coffers and his fundraising. So that's why he's on a tear, and he's a complete hypocrite. And I just saw that California now leads the nation in homelessness and unemployment. Maybe he should focus on that.
This is a guy who retweeted himself on Mount Rushmore. This is a guy who retweeted himself, dare I say, as Pope.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's hawking a Trump Bible. This is a guy who's out there selling perfume and with one of the great grifts, a coin.
But I want to get to the Trump is not hot. So
this is a guy who has merchandise.
Gavin Newsom has always been the walking definition of perfection. Every strand of hair in place, every grin sharpened to charm, every sleeve rolled just so. He's the politician version of a glossy magazine cover, convinced that a dazzling smile can mask the chaos behind it. With every gesture rehearsed and each expression fine-tuned, he doesn't just speak, he performs. You can almost see him standing in front of a mirror before every public appearance, perfecting that humble yet confident stance and that sly smirk whispering, "I was born for this." He sells himself like luxury perfume, expensive, polished, and just out of reach. But beneath that flawless exterior hides a man far more concerned with looking the part than playing it. The thing about glossy covers is they shimmer right up until they crack, revealing nothing but cardboard underneath. That's exactly what happened when Lindi Li stormed in, not with a jab, but with a flamethrower that turned Gavin's polished image to ash. What could possibly shake a man who's faced wildfires, blackouts, and brunch scandals all in one career?
He tried to be a moderate for about a month. I think it was April,
when
May.
he started his podcast?
Exactly. He started his podcast. He had Charlie Kirk on. He tried the moderate shtick. Realized that it didn't get him the donations that he wanted. And then he was like, wait a minute. Being an anti-Trump crusader actually gets me money. I want people to be aware that a lot of what politicians say on TV, on social media every day is to get the coffers, to get money rolling into the coffers, to get their fundraising machine.
If you're enjoying this takedown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Apparently, being exposed by someone immune to his Hollywood governor charm, Lindi didn't flinch, didn't bow, and definitely didn't buy the act. Instead, she peeled away the glitter and showed everyone what's really behind that famous grin. A politician so obsessed with appearance, he forgot what reality looks like. While Gavin was busy perfecting his presidential swagger and flipping his hair like it deserved its own campaign slogan, Lindi Li appeared armed with evidence so explosive it made California's blackouts look like candlelight dinners. But let's rewind for a moment. Gavin's entire rise has been a masterclass in image manipulation. He doesn't just walk into a room, he glides in, like a luxury cologne that makes people instinctively check their wallets. His brand feeds off illusion, the golden California dream. With him as the flawless savior, keeping the fantasy alive. Every photo op, every quote, every concerned eyebrow raise is crafted to sell hope, wrapped in designer suits. But Lindi didn't buy it for a second. She stripped that glossy illusion and showed the cracks hiding beneath the gold.
I do want to say that $1 billion in 100 days is not just run of the mill. This is astounding. And I have a duty of care to my donors who gave millions of dollars, and it wasn't easy for them to give. Some of them were paying in installments. It was a sacrifice for them. They looked for ways to give. So, people gave their hearts and souls to the campaign. They deserve a serious accounting to see why we were told that she was close or even winning in some of the swing states, but we lost all 7.
What did they say? We heard on the podcast, but what did they say on this call? Did they accept any blame? Did they sort of talk about mistakes that were made?
No.
Reality doesn't quite match Gavin's shiny brochure anymore. Homelessness is skyrocketing like a gas leak ready to explode. Taxes are climbing high enough to make billionaires tear up their spreadsheets, and businesses are fleeing faster than contestants from a doomed reality show. Yet somehow, Gavin keeps spinning this disaster into a success story. It's almost hypnotic, like watching a magician pull scarves from a hat while ignoring the elephant stomping through the stage. The crowd kept clapping until Lindi Li marched in and screamed, "That's not magic, it's a cover-up." And who is Lindi Li? She's no random critic. She's sharp, fearless, and ruthless enough to slice right through Gavin's PR bubble like a knife through frosting. Her words didn't just sting, they detonated. She didn't sling mud. She surgically dismantled his image, exposing every failure he tried to bury. Her biggest blow? Homelessness, billions spent, and the tents keep multiplying. Li nailed it when she said throwing money without accountability isn't compassion. It's chaos in disguise. Gavin's proud fixer act just crumbled, and it burned.
But not only did Gavin Newsom lie, he was the biggest liar. He was the one, and I was there. He was the one in the spin room lying to the entire world on the night of the debate, saying it was just a cold, nothing to see here, move along. But he is such a congenital liar.
Instead of focusing his time on this complete waste of taxpayer money, he has no agenda items. He has nothing positive to offer the American people. The only thing he cares about is himself. Everything is about him. And even Democrats understand this guy is truly fake. He's if you look up snake oil salesman in the dictionary, you would see his face right next to the definition.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be snake oil or hair grease or hair product, but you never know.
Actually,
probably both.
Then came the great business escape. California's brightest minds and billion-dollar startups packing their Teslas and racing toward Texas faster than a tax form can print. Once the land of innovation and ambition, the state now looks like a showroom of empty offices and shattered dreams. And Lindi Li didn't just whisper it. She broadcasted it for the whole nation to see. If CEOs are trading ocean views for barbecue smoke, maybe the golden dream has turned into a glossy nightmare. But Lindi didn't stop there. She went straight for Gavin's jugular, his hypocrisy and ego. She revealed how he seems more obsessed with filming his own political highlight reel than fixing the crumbling mess around him. California, to him, is just a stage. Every crisis, another dramatic scene. Meanwhile, citizens are stuck in a loop of high rent, high taxes, and higher frustration. That's where Lindi's strike landed hardest. It stripped the cool, polished mask off the golden boy and showed the truth beneath. No visionary leader, just a man rehearsing for an audience that stopped clapping.
What drives you crazy? That people still speculate that you're waiting in the wings to run for president? I know it's not going to happen. You know it's not going to happen. But what do you think is fueling that speculation?
I don't know. I don't think much anymore, and I'm so proud of the president and the incredible job he did. Didn't surprise me at all, and I know it didn't surprise you. I really believe that. I said to my friend the other day, I said, you know, on this age, and we can get into debates around fitness, look, I'd rather have 80 years behind me than those 88 federal criminal counts in front of me. And so I feel very good about Joe Biden's prospects.
The brilliance of Lindi's attack was its precision. It wasn't loud. It wasn't chaotic. It was clean, sharp, and devastatingly effective. That's exactly why it hurt so much. When someone says the emperor has no clothes, it's embarrassing. But when someone calmly points out the palace itself is crumbling, mold, rats, leaks, and all, that's when the illusion completely collapses. The fallout came fast and furious. The media smelled scandal, and even Gavin's loyal supporters started to squirm. Nothing destroys a carefully polished image faster than raw, undeniable truth, and Lindi served it cold. She didn't just question his leadership, she shattered the fantasy he built. Suddenly, the Golden Governor looked more like a salesman for a failing dream. Californians, buried under rent hikes and endless commutes, finally had someone voicing their anger. Maybe Gavin wasn't the golden hero after all. Maybe he was just the mascot of a crumbling empire. And for a man rumored to be eyeing the White House, that realization hit like a lightning strike.
He mentions 4 machinations that he plans to use in order to circumvent Trump, or in his words, Trump-proof democracy. And I just want to say, before I go into the 4 different measures, he is basically saying the American people cannot be trusted to make the right decision. Right. So I have to engage in these really slimy and subversive measures to undermine the will of the American people.
Here's the kicker. Politicians can survive scandals, blunders, and even total disasters. But hypocrisy? That's the one sin voters never forgive. And Lindi Li didn't just call it out. She blasted Gavin's hypocrisy like fireworks on live TV. While he parades around as America's future savior, his own state is bleeding residents, cash, and patience faster than ever. The contrast is crushing. The man preaching progress can't even stop the exodus from his backyard. That shiny image shattered the moment the truth hit. Suddenly, the smooth-talking frontrunner looked desperate, spinning circles in the chaos he built himself. And when people see cracks, they can't unsee them. No amount of charisma or hair gel can seal that damage. Then came the wildfire. Lindi's words spread everywhere. Gavin's PR machine couldn't keep up. Reporters who once glorified him turned around and started digging deep. The media stopped polishing the brand and began peeling it apart. And the Golden Governor turned into a man cornered by his own reflection.
If you're not going to be a good person, can you please not be a pathological liar at the very least?
He's unable to do that. They're conjoined.
I want to say, so he is out there doing a 180 on trans, but he's been on the forefront of trans advocacy all these years. Are you treating us like, why are you treating us like idiots? Or that we were born yesterday? We remember distinctly, he was one of the most ardent trans warriors. Not only that, he has the gumption to rewrite history and say that he knew all along that Biden's brain was melting.
Lindi Li's words landed like thunder. Raw, unfiltered truth that hit straight at the heart of Gavin's illusion. Her takedown wasn't filled with fancy theories. It was grounded in what everyone already saw every day. Homelessness isn't some distant statistic. It's right there on city sidewalks, tents lined up like warnings, parks turned into camps, and streets that look more post-apocalyptic than California Dream. When Lindi laid out those facts, the media couldn't resist. They swarmed like sharks sensing blood. And nothing thrills reporters more than watching the downfall of someone they once idolized. Overnight, the narrative flipped. No more praise for perfect hair and rehearsed speeches. Every outlet zoomed in on the mess hiding behind his manicured charm. For a man addicted to admiration, the silence of support hit harder than any headline. But the real blow came from everyday Californians, tired, overworked, and done with excuses. For years, Gavin's sugar-coated promises masked the misery, but Lindi stripped it bare, and people finally saw the truth staring back at them.
Go through the force.
His first thing is a special election.
What does that mean?
A special session of the state legislature. He would just call them back and have them do a lightning round of Trump-proof measures that will circumvent his immigration enforcement and other, for example, the deployment of the National Guard. Basically, Trump-proof anything.
He lost that in court. But he doesn't have that power. He lost.
He is lying. He's just saying whatever. As I said before, he's just saying whatever he thinks his audience wants to hear.
But Gavin Newsom was on the front lines of defending Biden. He wasn't just a defender and champion of Biden. He was the strongest. He debated DeSantis on the national stage. He went out of his way to, frankly, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He lied to the American people about the fitness of the president. He went out there again and again and said he was fine. Meanwhile, people like me were punished.
Of course, Gavin tried his classic escape act: flash the grin, twist the words, and charm his way out of chaos. But when the proof is undeniable and the failures pile up in plain sight, that charm starts to crumble fast. He can brag about fixing homelessness, but people still walk past tents outside grocery stores. He can boast about progress, but everyone knows someone packing for another state. He can dream about the White House, but most wonder if he can even manage a city block. That's why Lindi Li's takedown hit so brutally. It tore apart the shiny illusion and exposed the truth underneath. Gavin wants to be seen as a visionary, yet his vision never includes the broken streets or suffocating rent his people face daily. He loves being the golden boy of the party. But lately, that gold looks fake, just a glittering mask covering panic. And this scandal, it's not fading. It's etched deep into public memory, as permanent as the frustration Californians feel every single day. So, where does Gavin stand now? Cornered under the harshest spotlight of his entire career. The man who once strutted like the Democratic heir suddenly looks fragile, shaken, and unsure of his next move.
Aren't suggestions, and laws aren't optional. If you cannot handle your own state, the President of the United States has every right to come in. And right now, Gavin Newsom is treating public safety, he's treating our lives and our treasure as his plaything for his presidential campaign. His priority isn't the safety and the well-being of the American people. It's his own political preservation. He's positioning himself, trying to have it both ways, trying to pretend that he's all for illegal aliens, and then also that he's moderate. He cannot have it both ways.
His rivals smell blood in the water. His allies are slipping away one by one, and every TV appearance feels like a replay of his downfall. People aren't dazzled by the grin anymore. They're hearing Lindi Li's words echo like a haunting chorus, reminding them that behind the polish is a leader drowning in chaos. And Gavin feels it. That's what makes it sting even more. The confident posture is fading, the sparkle's gone, and the mask is cracking fast. This isn't just political humiliation, it's personal. When your whole image is built on being flawless, nothing hurts more than watching that illusion crumble in real time. Lindi didn't just bruise his reputation, she shattered it. Now, the man who once looked untouchable stands completely exposed, and the audience is watching every second of the fall.